Welcome back to the show. This is the AM show. I'm MFA Akosiaditi. It is a holiday. It's going to be a long holiday for you watching. Am I happy to be here? Am I happy to bring you the review? Yes, I am. And so we're thankful that you choose us every morning. We're going to go into the matters of rise. And the major matter really is Mahama 1 year on. We've been discussing it all week. Today, we shall nearly wrap that conversation up. But before that, I'll take you to our online portals to bring you what's happening in the news, just headlines. And of course, I will start with My Joy Online. What is the news without My Joy Online? I will. Okay. All right. Pakistan is not a weakness. And the Assault Foundation condemns stigma after Franklin Kujo's disclosure. You must have seen that he says that he's been dealing with this for a while now. And also, the president has been speaking. He says that there will be no hiding place for criminals who injure or kill police officers. He's been warning. And as well, no room for waste. Mahama warns security services over misuse of state assets. And stop playing it safe. Kweku Karte urges Mahama to make the hard economic calls. The details of Parkinson is not a weakness as well is there. Legal Green Association review first year of Mahama administration. You should take a look at that. And for our most popular news on the right side of our portal, Oforiata's lawyers move to block deportation, seek U.S. stay extension for medical treatment. Ken Oforiata and the illusion of sanctuary. As well, Ghana reference rate for January dropped to a little over 15%. Interest rate set to decline. A lot of stories on myjoyonline.com. More political stories as well on MyJoy. But I'll take you to City Newsroom. Take hard economic decisions without fear, Kweku Karte tells Mahama. And that's their top story. Detention alone doesn't mean justice. We will on Oforiata case. An update on DVLA, no mandatory digital registration deadline for pre-2023 vehicles. And as well on Mahama, the president says that government to award major textbook contracts to Ghana Publishing, and class media applauds Mahama over interdiction of the Ghana National Fire Service officers who assaulted a journalist. That's the update for City Newsroom. I shall bring you graphic online. Now, President Mahama pledges state support to public media. And court remands Cadet Senior High Technical School students over assault. If you have been following that story, it's just one out of the students that who have been alleged to have assaulted the teacher is a juvenile. And so they're treating his matter a little different. If you went to that story, you'll get the details. Graphic online as well as reporting how Franklin Kujo reveals Parkinson's diagnosis and pledges to raise awareness. That story is there also. And President Ray commits to ethical leadership, calls for unity. And another bus smuggling over 1,000 ammunition to northern Ghana. Details of that as well. We brought you that story yesterday, but details of that is on there. Here as well on the BBC. There is a real threat of U.S. military action against Colombia. President tells BBC. You find that story over there. Minnesota officials say FBI blocked their access to ICE, the Immigration and Customs Enforcement shooting probe. Yesterday, you must have seen that the CNN was giving us real live updates on what happened on the shooting of a woman, a mother of 3, I think. ICE about you must have seen the footages, but the story as well is widely reported, and BBC is bringing it back to you as well. You can just take a look and then get some updates for yourself on this holiday. So let's get into the news review. Now, joining me in studio is Senyo Amekplano. Senyo is a member of the NPP communications team. Sharif Tajiri as well is a member of the NDC communication team. And via Zoom is Dr. Manasseh Minta. He's legal an environmental policy analyst. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining me on the News Review this morning. How are you? I hope you're well. A happy New Year.
Many happy returns.
Okay. So, has your year started very well?
Yeah. First of all, good morning, and good morning to your cherished viewers and to my brother too. I think it started pretty well. I won't complain for now, even though things are a bit hard in terms of prices of goods and services. But beyond that, I think that it's started pretty too well. Yeah.
Are they? What have you bought in the last time that's very expensive?
Yesterday evening, I bought kenke.
Kenke?
Yes, just around your community here. It's just at the back, there's a kenke house.
Komlemle?
Yes.
Okay.
And the kenke, a ball of kenke, is 7 Ghana cedis.
It's 7 Ghana cedis?
Yes.
Has it increased in size?
The size, in fact,
the same.
If I eat 4, I will still not be satisfied.
You need about how much? That's
at least I think I need
3 is 21 cedi plus 7, so you need nearly 30 Ghana cedis. That's 4 balls.
Yeah.
Okay. And how much were you buying it before?
Before, it used to be 4 cedis, and I think as of last year, it was around 5 cedis. So yesterday, I was at the point I asked the seller again, Madam, how much is the kenke? Did you say 7 cedis? When did you increase? I said, oh, and I'll buy a
Okay.
Yeah, that was the first. Then I was like, oh, Sir President, they say, Nyoma Boaba form. Gentina, maybe. So I brought here, Mr. Wife, Dokono, 7 cedis.
Okay.
So I was a bit alarmed. So I quickly called a journalist friend of mine from one of the media houses, and I told him that, Joe, Dokono is now 7 cedis. Then he was also telling that, but Newtown here, I get my kenke 5 cedis. So when I showed him the place, I said, come and buy some.
So basically for the pricing, there is a little confusion where some people are selling it high, some people are selling it at the price that you're
well, but ordinarily, a place like this environment, you should not be getting kenke for 7 Ghana cedis. Maybe in a place like Cantonment and then East Legon, where some areas, and even, how do you call it, moving pick, and where you get kenke at 20 Ghana and, 10 Ghana cedis. Maybe that one will be a bit reasonable because we know those people what it comes with.
But would you say that it is, and I'll come to you, Sheriff, soon, but would you say that it is a one-off situation which you can now conclude to say that things are still quite pricey?
I think that it's something that is going on. Prices are not coming down. Day in, day out, it keeps increasing. And I don't know if it is the sellers or if it's probably a government that is not really telling us what is happening. Because you ask and you are being told that inflation is in single digits of 5.4%. And then they'll tell you that dollar is down. But trust me, that is not what we are seeing in our pocket. And I repeat by saying that macroeconomic indicators does not cook kenke and ewakpele in our various homes.
But at least it gives you some comfort and cushion to know that the rate at which prices of things were going has reduced. If you look at the factors that we take in consideration, we're talking about
I don't know when you say has reduced. I don't know what.
No, you use inflation as a starting point.
Yes, but inflation is down, which is good. But the prices of goods are still.
But it gives you an assurance that it will not skyrocket.
The prices of even our rents, it has never dropped. Rent is still increasing.
No.
No, I'm coming.
Okay.
Inflation will definitely affect rent. It will definitely affect my transport situation. It will definitely affect my water bill, my electricity bill.
But you say that the inflation is in single digits.
Yes, that's what government told us.
Which means that if your rent was supposed to be, say, 150 tomorrow, this inflation tells you that even if it's going to increase, it wouldn't increase at a price that the previous inflation would have indicated.
But I can tell you that just 4 days ago, a cousin of mine called to request for support for rent. Rent that used to be 800 cedis as at 2024. He is now requesting by telling me that the rent has skyrocketed to 1,100 Ghana cedis.
Maybe our Chubu. Let's go to.
It's not about Chubu. It's real. It's real. It's happening.
Okay.
If you look, I don't know if the last time you watched Oliver Vomawa, right? I think somewhere last year, he put on his Facebook wall that he does not understand why, dollar is coming down, inflation is coming down, yet our rent is still skyrocketing. So it tells you that a lot needs to be done. I don't know whether we need to look at price stabilization or price control. I don't know if that's what we need to look at.
A conversation that we can put on this table and discuss, except many economists have said that it's quite a difficult one to regulate prices in this country. But Sheriff, so Senor here believes that he sees that inflation is in single digits and all of that. He thinks that the Mahama government says that things are okay. They've made some gains. They've recorded some good gains. But King K is at 7 Ghana cedis.
Good morning to you and to our cherished viewers and listeners from all across the globe, and to my brother Senor here. It's right that we should all know that the Kenke seller out there who used to buy a bag of maize close to around 700 Ghana cedis, who now buys a bag of maize for around 300 to 350 Ghana cedis, commonsensically should either reduce the price of her kenke or increase the size of the ball of kenke. And so it will depend on where my brother Senor here goes to buy his kenke. If my brother Senor is the affluent type who can decide to go and take his kenke from the East Legon area or from the cantonments or from the ridge and so on and so forth, and then he would get his kenke at a price that is not reduced, or better still, where the size of the kenke is not reduced, then that is up to him. Basically, we all know, even during the Christmas festivities, the market women confirmed that the prices of goods are steadily dropping. And it should not be anything for my brother to still be pontificating, to tell the general public that indeed, even though the figures of the Mahama government are good, but it seems not to be reflecting on the ground. Go into the hinterlands, and people will confirm to you that actually prices of goods and services are either dropping or are a bit more stable. So,
of course, he's a citizen, and so if prices of goods are really low, I don't see how he will make it up. He also gave you where he bought the kenke kokumlemle. He says it's not in East Legon. Is it that indeed the prices of goods have reduced on paper, in our minds, by policy, but for real, it's not reflecting in the pockets of people? Is this a possibility?
You used to buy a gallon of your oil, like the 10-liter gallon of oil, for around 1,200 Ghana cedis. Mm-hmm. How much do you buy these days? Around 600 to 700 Ghana cedis. You used to buy the 5 pieces of 5 kg rice in a bag for around 600 to 700 Ghana cedis. How much do you buy it these days? You buy it around 380 to 400 Ghana cedis. You don't need anyone to tell you that prices of goods and services are gradually dropping. Of course, we may have to come back to the table to have a conversation around price control mechanisms and so on and so forth. That is something that government should look into. And so if we go on that route, I think we should all join the conversation so that we try to find an amicable solution to that. Because prices of goods and services may drop, but some sellers may still decide to be selling at the price that they used to sell previously.
Which is our poison we must stick to, because we operate a free market, do we not? The government cannot really promise that they can compel traders.
Well, that's why I said we may have to come back to the conversation table and try
on that table, what will we be discussing? How we can operate price control in a free market, which scientifically is not possible.
Well, so if it is scientifically impossible for us to operate price control in a free market, but there are certain commodities that government actually would have a control over. Yeah. For instance, those commodities that are being imported into this country, when the taxes are reduced, at least government can come into a conversation with the importers to also reduce their prices to a particular level. I think that is something we may have to look at in general.
Okay, so I'll come to you, but let me go on Zoom. You want to respond, but let me just take
something for him to understand. You see, he talked about the fact that petrol is down and all of that. But I want to draw your attention to something and for you to make that correlation. If you remember, a few months ago, Dr. Sharif from the Vice President's office, he was asked by this intelligent young man during a forum to draw the line between, price and inflation. And we all saw the kind of response that the gentleman received at the time. Come again?
I didn't see the response. What was
that? For me, when you ask me, I think that I don't want to sound to be a bit disrespectful, but with all humility, I think that the response given to the young man was not what it deserves. It was unintelligent on the part of the doctor to give that response. Because
what was it though? Let's all make the assessment. What was the response?
He tried to rubbish the gentleman by not responding to the issue and move to the next thing. By saying that, I don't know, I've forgotten, but I think that the response that was given was not the best. But what I want us to
It just will not be fair because we have mentioned the name.
I would definitely want to, I'll get the video for you before you, so that your producers can play the video. But what I want us to draw here is that he talks about the fact that maybe Senor is affluent and want to buy from East Legon or Cantonment. No, but that is not the case. I bought it from Kokomimli. But what I see here is that the nexus between this whole thing has to do with the fact that now, if maize is coming down, the prices of maize is coming down as is alleged to be.
In fact, there's a glut in the Upper West region.
If
maize glut.
You see, if it is now, as a kenke seller who is buying maize to come and prepare kenke, if I buy the maize, I don't get the maize just jump or fly in the air and get to my house. There's a process which has to be transported. Transport prices are not coming down. Now, when it comes, I need to use water. Tariff is increasing in terms of our water. When it comes, the light I'm using, I need to pay for it. All of these things are normal and basic economic that you need to understand.
I can't help but agree. Sheriff, he makes a very solid point. But
the recent one I encountered, and I got angry with the restaurant people. I went to a restaurant recently with a friend of mine, and the place was so hot. And I asked them, why is your place so hot?
You have a 9%.
And the response was like, they can't come and be buying food and be asking for a reduction, and I'll be owning my AC. So what it means is that the owner of the place is thinking about the increment in terms of paying more for utility bills, yet he or she is trying to, stabilize the pricing of the thing. So the next year, I think government should be real with us. Like I keep saying, we cannot eat microeconomic indicators, or it will not cook banku or a workman in our homes.
Sheriff, I'll come. He makes those points, and you should notice. I just want to go to Dr. Menta, who's with us on Zoom. Doc, thank you. You followed the conversation so far. I was going to just go zooming into how you assess the president's or the current government's so far, but you can as well respond to a few of the things that they have, the comments that they have made so far.
Thank you, Mahama. Let me use the opportunity to thank all Ghanaians for their supportive roles that they've played in diverse ways in supporting the president to this far. Yes, Mahama, first of all, a disclaimer. I'm not in Ghana. I'm in Boston, Massachusetts. And so if I want to comment specifically about the microeconomic indicators and also the price of goods, I might not be that so fair to the audience. But then I'll come into that later. Let me talk first about the president and then what he has achieved thus far. I think the president has done exceedingly well. For me, I'm much more glad about the concrete pillars that he has laid for our economy. I am more of an Afrocentric person, and then I go further into policy than a lot of people will envisage.
Okay.
He has put us on the path of recapturing our African identity and also carving a future for Ghana that is devoid of foreign influence and dominance. You can see from his policy about the national language that he wants to institutionalize from our basic school system, that we should use the mother tongue along with the English language. Of course, it's not our mother tongue. And I believe that if you teach a child his or her mother tongue, it goes a long way to affect the sum total person. That is a good thing. His initiative about the numerous road construction that is unprecedented in this country is also here for all of us to witness. I've been watching the videos here and there. People have been giving updates each and every day on the social media space. And I'm glad, I'm elated. I'm a Ghanaian, and when I see that some of these things are expeditiously done, unlike how it was done in the past, the roads were left in arrears, and then with dust and all that, and then a government comes to power, and then he's so much aggressive about infrastructure development in all facets. It's something that is worth commending. And I am here to say thank you, Mr. President. I also like his posture in a world space. He is asserting the Nkrumah's dream as an Nkrumahist and someone who believes in ideals of our first president. He goes on by reenacting that dream, trying to rally African presidents and African people as a whole for us to assert our place in history and also for us to get along with one another and develop our own regional terms, from the world. He went to the UN the other day. He talked about slavery reparation, which is something I've been thinking about right from the time I was in University of Cape Coast. And I'm loving that. He has a child for that, and in the person of Dr. Ekosio Gilroy, a very well communicated individual in the world space, which I know can lead that reparation drive. That is another area which, as an Afrocentric person, I love so much. And then also about the microeconomic stability that we are enjoying. It is something that I have to also commend here. Listen, the Christmas that had just passed, I watched videos over and over again on social media, and some of them make me laugh. People have still been commenting about it. They say it's a Christmas of a lifetime. They talk about the price of goods. They talk about how things were very marginal, and then they were able to afford. So it is very surprising that I have my friend from the MVP side talking about how a bowl of kinky has all of a sudden been so pricey. Listen, I send money home. I send money home from here. Even if I'm not in Ghana and I'm not affected directly by these consumer price indexes and the microeconomic stability that he is talking about, it affects me in so many other ways indirectly. I send money home. And then there was a time that when I sent even $100 home, it's a lot of money back home. Now, it's been significantly reduced. Why? Because inflation has come down, and it has affected the interbank market exchange rate. Is it a good thing for me? I think so, because it's helping my country in the sense that it's not just people making advantage of the situation, and then the economy itself is in a shambles. Now, when people receive money from Ghana and they complain that the money is not so much, I understand that it's because somebody is doing his job. And so for me, that side of it alone tells me that the president is actually setting us on a path of a very strong city.
But
now,
he makes the point, Doc, he makes the point that I see, macroeconomic gains. However, there are some things that from the back door, you would have to still increase the price of that bowl of kinky. And that's the case in point where the electricity tariff is right in our faces. You need the electricity. Other factors that will contribute to the cost of living of a person is still staring in our face. So if he says that, well, you say that inflation is low, it's in the single digits, everything looks quite okay economically, we're not feeling it because other factors are drawing from this. Is this not a point to look at?
It is, but here's the thing. He has even answered my question. See, it is not just one-sided of things. It's a lot of things altogether, and we know that. So obviously, the tariff side that he's talking about, the price of electricity, petrol, and all that, is something that probably maybe in a free market we can say the government can come in. But then there are so many other factors that the government cannot control now. So it takes time for some of those things to kick in. And that, to me, he has already answered. It takes time for those things to kick in. You're not going to see all of a sudden, just one day, the price, the tariffs, everything dropping, and then affecting the average person. It takes time for some of those other factors to be in control too. So for me, I think it is a good thing to also say that, well, the larger consumer price indexes, if we should collect it today, oil prices are going down. I mean, I'm talking about cooking oil. We're talking about rice. We're talking about a glut of maize and all that in the upper east, upper west regions. So these are other factors that, when together with the larger tariffs later on dropping, will affect all of us and it to economically advantageous the country. So for me, it is a time game. It is not going to be a day or a nightmare. All of a sudden, it's going to take a little bit of a time for everything to stabilize. And for me, we are in the right direction.
Okay, back in studio. Doc, hang it there for me. Back in studio, Sherry, if you want to respond to a few things. Senor made that point. It's true. How much electricity tariff, the recent increase was about 9%.
All right, so the recent increase in utility tariffs and how that affects the prices of goods and services, especially with the example he just gave, that the Kenke seller who buys a bag of maize at a reduced price but still will need electricity and so on and so forth, will not be able to reduce the price of the Kenke. But we just spoke about it here. We just made the point that once the kind of market system that we operate in, we need to go back and have a conversation. We may have to have a conversation with regards to...
Some things are predictable, Sherry.
Yes. So
you have, see, there's maize glut. There's a lot of maize.
Yes.
But he says that you can't eat the maize like that. It needs to be processed.
Yes.
In that free market where you cannot even tell people how to price their goods and services, also exist other factors that will help the Kenke to be edible. Sure. And those you can see are pricey.
So since time immemorial, Kenke sellers have been using all forms of utilities.
Yes.
They have never stopped using utilities. So the fact that utility prices have increased in a way does not mean the price of Kenke should necessarily also increase. Now you have a price increase of about 9% for utility tariffs, or 13% for in the case of water, and so on and so forth.
It's 15.
And you have a reduction in the price of a bag of maize up to about 50% or even more. A reduction in the price of a gallon of cooking oil up to about 50% or even more. Now, if the price of a gallon of oil has reduced from 1,200 Ghana cedis to about 600 or 700 Ghana cedis, you have a window of about 500 to 600 Ghana cedis. Compare that to the price you buy your electricity or your water.
It can cover for it.
Yes, whether it will make sense for the Kenke seller to increase price or reduce price. I think that should be the angle my brother should have been coming from. And obviously, if you have an outstanding 500 Ghana cedis, and you used to buy an electricity of 100 Ghana cedis, and there's an increase of, let's say, even 20%, what it means is that you are going to buy 120 Ghana cedis. You will still have about 480 Ghana cedis left for you. So it will not make sense for any Kenke seller at this material moment to even pontificate of increasing the price of Kenke, if not reduction. So I think that argument doesn't even hold. Then he tries to draw in the narrative of our brother, the economic advisor to the vice president, Professor Sharif Khalid, who in a conversation...
Do you know the fact of the matter?
Yes.
Could you bring me
but before you come, this was his response. He said Ghana was...
No, the question before the response.
No, the question was, what's the correlation between price...
The correlation
I think you should have allowed him to...
No, I just want to...
Okay, he raised it, so
yeah,
that's how he clears it.
When the correlation question was asked, then his reply was that Ghana was still in a period of economic stabilization, but with encouraging signs. That was his response to the gentleman, and I felt that, no, that response was not enough. As somebody who is an economist, it would have been prudent if you expatiate more for us to know the nexus between, how do you call it, price and inflation. Because in basic economics, we know the effect of inflation on price.
But if you say that he didn't answer the question, he moved on to other things, it would then not be fair to describe.
Yeah, that's why I seek to draw your attention to the fact that this was his response, and then move to the subsequent submission that
Sharif, I see that
not
you have a
related to the question that was asked.
MF, I think the narrative is putting out is not entirely true.
It's online. You can Google it. It's online.
Oh, just
it's online. It's online. No. I don't peddle falsehood. That's one thing.
Take your time, my brother. Take your time. When the student asks the question, the student says he used to buy Belacqua at 5 cedis, 6 cedis or so.
Is that 3 cedis? But it's now 5 cedis.
But the price of Belacqua is still the same. Okay. Now,
that was not. No, don't disturb. I am the one who brought up the issue. So when you are, I brought up the issue.
Take your time.
No, but he's not
putting our time.
You are not.
Because both of you do not have the legitimacy to actually talk about
what he's saying, I know the issue.
Because it is about somebody.
He asked about Belacqua. He said the price used to be 3 cedis, and now it has increased to 5 cedis.
Make progress.
What is the correlation between price and inflation coming down? This was the question.
And I'm saying that
so you don't
make progress. If he's not allowed to also respond. Why?
Okay.
Because both of you are not the two characters in that issue. So we're just trying to wrap our heads around. I shouldn't allow it, but because we've put it up, we just need to get to finality of it.
All right.
What exactly
thank you.
was your response?
So granted that the young man said he used to buy it at 3 cedis and he now buys it at 5 cedis. The first comment the professor made was that you must be a posh student. Go in, let's look for the meaning of the word posh, but he said it in passing. Okay. Now to mean that maybe the student is someone who likes... You get a point. Then he moved further to now explain, using the points we are just making on this table, that Ghana is on the path of growth and trajectory. We are operating a particular model of an economy. And so in the not too distant future, certain things are going to fall in place. It's not everything that can just happen out of a blue. You can't just limit this argument and then just say, oh, the professor disrespected the student and so on and so on.
I never said disrespect. No, I never said so. No. You cannot misrepresent the facts here. You are speaking to I never used the word disrespect. The host is even here. So, no, I am not sitting here for you to peddle falsehood.
No.
Did I use the word disrespect?
No, you actually used a word that I was not happy about. You said it was unintelligent.
I apologize even before using the word. Before I even use that, I said, with all due respect.
Okay.
I said that.
And if I can have my time.
Just to show a sign of disrespect, a sign of respect to him.
Okay.
So don't withdraw that statement.
So I think...
No, he should withdraw that word. That
one of the...
What he said, that I said, he knows what he said.
Okay, let's not reduce the conversation to petty words. Now make the point. I think the viewers will make their deduction.
MFI.
Yeah.
I think by and large, President Mahama and the NDC government for the past 1 year has been very phenomenal. Okay. I think at this point in time, we should even be giving the president a standing ovation for the kind of stellar performance he has kept out in the past 1 year. Look, President Mahama is operating this economy in the past 1 year as if he's in the final year of his term of office. To the extent that people like my brother critique him as if we are even going for elections tomorrow.
Okay. So I've just received a message. Person doesn't want his name mentioned, his or her name mentioned, but says that the Professor Khalid's response also shocked me too. It was an opportunity to educate the young man.
I have to pull this video.
I believe a lot of people bash him for that. Yes. The person doesn't want the name mentioned, but I think that the viewers can make their conclusion because it is out there. This was in public, right? But you also are making the point that he further went on to use these factors that you're using to explain the gains.
He never did. He never did. The video is out.
Let's make progress then. Let's make progress. We'll move to the general performance.
MFI, I said generally, the performance of President Mahama and the NDC government for the past 1 year has been spectacular.
What has been your personal expectations of this government in the last 1 year that you don't think that they lived up to? For you personally, yes.
My personal expectation that
they didn't do in that 1 year.
I feel oral is delaying. But of course, as a student, I also think that the wheels of justice grind slowly, but they ought to grind exceedingly fine. And so when it comes to issues of the law, we have to deal with them in a more precise and concise manner. And so that may be my only issue
Did we not know this when we were inviting the appetite of Ghanaians to justice, which is why you use oral?
But inviting the appetite of Ghanaians doesn't necessarily mean we would just come into power, they swear in the president, and the next day they start incarcerating people.
The impression was created as though it's just a done deal.
MFA, governance is a process, and the legal process also is working. There are so many cases that are in court currently, and the fate of those people are going to be determined going forward. Indeed, the lawyers and judges believe that it is better to leave 1,000 guilty men out than to imprison one innocent person. Yeah. So going by this analogy, it will not be proper for our Attorney General to rush, to go in a haste, and then maybe end up sentencing some people who, on the other way around, would have been innocent of for some of the offenses they are being held of. Okay. And so, but for me, as an ordinary Ghanaian, sitting back, what I feel is that most people feel that process should have been a bit more quicker, so that maybe probably by the end of the second year of the government or first year of the government, some people we would have seen some signs that some people have gone to jail or some monies have been recouped and so on and so forth. I think that's the only issue. But
Doctor, let me go to Dr. Minta, especially because you have introduced the conversation on legal, oral, the law, and all. Before I come to you, Senor. Doc, you've heard Sharif has just brought our attention to the government's performance, accountability, citing oral, and thinking that, well, it's a bit slow, the results we expected for oral. Do you feel the same?
Yeah, that's true. From my point of view, I wrote extensively on this, even in your space. One of the articles I wrote on Joy was, the law is not a good market. Listen, and for me, it's a perennial problem with our type of politics. I'm blunt. I have to go straight. I speak my words in hard words. When we whet the appetite of Guineans, especially whilst we're in opposition and etc., and then make them believe that we have that magic wand. As soon as we come to power, we're going to jail people all around because they misappropriated our funds and etc. It creates the impression that we are already muscle, we are already flesh, we are already knowing everything that is handy for the process to be in effect. And so when we come to power, like you rightly said, the impression is that we're just going to throw people in jail and then recoup or recover money from there, here and there. But that is not how the legal process works. It grinds slowly. It takes time to even indict someone, even get to the discovery stage, martial actions, go into court, go to trial. It takes a whole lot of time. But you see, we created this impression in the minds of our supporters right there before we came to power. And now, a year after elections, here we are. I don't know how many cases the AG has been able to prosecute effectively. They're going to court, we know. But the process is slow. And this, unfortunately, the average Ghanaian does not understand this. It is not just the NDC. It's both the NPP and the NDC. This has been going on. And so there should be a way we should sanitize this type of politicizing. When you find a problem whilst you're in opposition, don't make it a party propaganda. Don't make it a campaign message. I have a problem with that. And I have to be strong and bold to point at that the NDC failed in this regard. Okay. I am not happy about it. And if, like rightly the Minister of Foreign Affairs said, if Aura fails, then NDC is too.
What's your assessment of the Attorney General's posture?
Well, the truth of the matter is that I know from a legal point of view that prosecuting corrupt officials, etc., takes a lot of time. So I'm not surprised at all. My very good friend, Justice Wisai, Dr. Justice Wisai, is doing so well. But the truth of the matter is that if we should seek closure for cases such as the ones that are pending before the court, it's going to take a whole lot of time. And it's going to take, even to this end, probably maybe by 2028. It's not just a child's play. Criminal prosecution is not a child's play. It is a lot of things. We have, every crime has its own elements. You have to prove every one of these beyond a reasonable doubt. It's the highest threshold that the law has ever had. And it's not just probable cause or whatsoever. So, indicting someone or coming to the media space to give press conferences here and there about a case, it's not a closure. The closure is that if you have evidence, go to court and prove every element of it. And these are very huge thresholds. So I know, from my point of view, that this is not a child's play. It's not a nightmare. It's not a day's job. It is going to be a whole lot of fight. Now, I learned they went to plea deal with some people, and I've seen commentaries on that. But listen, that is still not a closure. It's a long track. Let's be honest with ourselves again, yes. Let's be honest with our supporters. When we want power, we should be honest that when it comes to legal prosecution, when it comes to criminal matters, not even civil matters, it's a whole track. It's a whole game plan of its own. And that is why I'm not satisfied at all with the performance of the government as far as Ora is concerned.
Okay, Doc, thank you. Back in studio, Senor.
Well, I am, for once, I am happy that Doc has, indicated.
But your colleague right here has also been honest about a few things he's not happy about. He said, how you are able to skip your colleague here to go on Zoom? Because it's a long journey.
You could have allowed me to finish, because I was going to narrow the issue in a particular way. Yeah, I was going to maneuver it this way.
It's my time. I'll give to you, please.
So I'm happy Doc has accepted by saying that indeed it was used as a propaganda tool, because he made mention of that, and I kept saying that the issue of aura that the NDC trumpeted so much in the heat towards the election has not achieved any result so far. We were told that they were going to get over $21 billion out of it. As of now, I don't know if we've even got 1 billion Ghana cedis out of this. So it tells you clearly that indeed it emboldens Mr. Daniel Dumelovo's statement by saying that most of the things they receive are just baller. Most of the things they receive are baller. That is why today they are unable to advance their case. And in even making an attempt to advance their case, instead of you to go to the court to seek for redress, to prosecute the people, you tend to make it a movie center where you now have somebody directing you, go this way, go that way. It is not the order of the day. That is not what we want to see. For me, I've remained very resolute and clear in my mind that if there is any NPP person, if there is any former appointee who has embezzled funds, the law must deal with the person ruthlessly. I will not hold brief for the person. I will not want to stand as a spokesperson for the person. If the person has been found, guilty by the law, the person should be dealt with. So for me, I agree with the Doc and then my brother who feels that the issue of aura is no, it's not actually responding or getting the response that we were made to believe. Now, I come back to, he made a statement that the president, in fact, did have a very stellar performance. I agree with him. In fact, the president did very well by bringing the dollar down. Today, at least if I'm buying something from the US, I know that, my money is a bit okay. The tariff is good. But one thing is very sacrosanct. One thing is very sacrosanct. Electricity tariff is still rising. That is very sacrosanct.
But in
water tariff is still rising.
Tariff been ever low.
So this is the catch. In the first term of Nanado in 2017, where we had even tariff increment before we came to power 2017, in the first year, we never increased tariff.
You didn't?
We never increased tariff.
I have to fact check this.
Please do. Even Joy News has even brought a fact check to confirm that. Yes, we never increased tariff. In the second year, instead of even increasing, we ended up reducing tariff. So it tells you clearly that the managers of the economy are not only trying to, massage things, but they want to, as usual, the PR gimmicks. I am happy dollar is down. I'm happy inflation is down. But inflation and dollar cannot be down where our tariff in terms of water and electricity is still high. Our rent is still high. Rent is not coming down. School fees of our kids are never coming down. Day in, day out, we pay higher fees for our kids. So it's the prices of goods are not coming down. So what else do we want to see? By people telling us that, the president has done a solid foundation. Is this solid foundation that will put food in our mouth?
Did the MPP inherit an economy that cushioned them not to be able to increase or decrease tariff? What kind of if you and Sheriff, I'll be asking.
If you recall, one of the toughest moment for the Mahama 1 administration has to be with the energy sector. Has to do with the energy sector and some other things that people really had issues with him and butchered him out of power. Now, these were challenging moments for Mahama 1 at the time. But in all those cases, when we came to power, we knew at the time that Ghanaians were suffering. Ghanaians were not okay, or were not okay with the darkness that we were coming from. And we needed light. And in quest of, giving them light, we said, you know what, guys? let's maintain the tariff at the time. Even in the second year, we said, no, there is no need of increasing it. Instead, we need to rather reduce it. So for me, the argument has always been that when we were made to believe that things were not all right in this country, one would have thought that coming on board with the mindset that there is a reset, then you would have wanted to start from a point where we know very well that dollar is coming down, inflation rate is coming down, yet you are tasking the ordinary Ghanaian more in terms of utility prices. Yet you are failing to increase their salary and you give them a pantry of 9% increment, whereas you go to the Jubilee House and you are shooting up the budgetary allocation for the presidency from over 300 million Ghana cedis to 500 million Ghana cedis plus. So, you see, when you draw in the nails, it tells you very clear that one thing is sacrosanct. The government is actually doing well in one way or the other by using PR, by using mere PR to run this country. And that is fine. But one thing, again, the government must understand is that in as much as they portray to be doing well, governance cannot be replaced with pseudologia fantastica.
English, please.
Governance cannot be replaced with pseudologia fantastica, which simply means that you cannot replace governance with fantasies. You cannot replace governance with deceptions. You cannot replace governance with lies. Facts are facts. Facts are sacrosanct. That is the point.
Senyo makes a few claims. I'm actually looking for where we fact-checked. I haven't seen that yet, except I've seen members of the NPP touting that, but we haven't fact-checked that one yet. I actually see that in contrast.
So you can fact-check. You can fact-check. I think
because if we have fact-check, I will know it by all means.
Okay.
So
maybe probably that was the one I said, but I think that
2017 to 2024,
it's out there.
Recorded a cumulative increase of 57.45 average, just 7% annually. We'll get into that, but please respond to a few.
Yes, so MFI, on utility tariffs, he tries to make the point that throughout the first 1 year of the NPP government, they did not increase utility tariffs. Well, you are still trying to fact check, but granted it's even true. MFI, the prices of utility tariffs at this point in time are being, under the IMF program, is one of the conditionalities. And so, at the time they came into office, we were at the verge of exiting the IMF program that the NDC went into. So it afforded them more window of opportunity.
They're not same for today.
Well, but
you're at the verge of exiting.
Yes, but in our case, the IMF is even proposing, coming to the demand for an extension, which the government is reneging on. So if
extension?
Yes.
It's not true. I'm going to put out a document. No, you're not continue.
Well, at the breakfast meeting with the IMF just a few weeks ago, one of the proposals they put forward for government was for an extension of...
To end in August instead of May,
yes, but government is reneging on doing that. So if you are under this kind of system, it's practically impossible for government through the PURC to come out and wholesomely control the prices of utility tariffs.
And not
indeed, in some cases, some of the utility service providers like Ghana Water Company proposed more than 200% tariff increment. You remember?
PRC gave 10%?
Yes. So government was able to come to the table with them, and at the end of the day, what they got was a little less than 15%.
15, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So I think we should be applauding government for even doing that. Imagine the tariffs were increased about 50% or 60% or 70% as demanded by the tariff providers. So I think with that narrative, my brother should not even have gone there. Then he comes to also make the claim that budgetary allocation to the presidency is increasing at the expense of some other agencies or the ordinary Ghanaian and so on and so forth. But he also fails to allude to the fact that so many projects are going on at the seat of government. And so for most of the projects that are going on at the seat of government, they need to be allocated some finances for those projects to take.
Example?
Oh, the entire information ministry and the government communications is being moved.
There.
Yes. So the issues of Ghana Publishing Company and all the other agencies that are under that particular ministry are being allocated funds to the Office of Government Communications, right?
So it's not the same as the previous?
No. So I think it doesn't operate in same fashion. So I think this alone should give my brother an insight to know that things are a bit different now. We are on the path of growth and trajectory. MFA, holistically, look at the kind of road construction that are going on in this country in the past 1 year. Contractors that are on major roads. Yesterday, I applied the Gomwa Road, the Accra-Winneba Road. And unless you see the kind of work that is being done on that road, pass through the Amasamai-Pokwasi Road and see the kind of work that is being done over there. And most of the contractors are being paid. I get the point.
Those projects are continuing projects.
It doesn't necessarily matter. But at a point in time, most of the projects were halted and the contractors complained that funds were not being released to them. In the case of the contractor on the Amasamai-Pokwasi Road, he was allocated about $77 million and counting. So, my own hometown, that has not received
which is where?
My hometown have not received any major.
Question.
Which is where?
I will come to that.
Relax. Mention it. Be bold. Which is
Yes.
The road from Wenchi through Bole, Bamboy, Sola, Tuna, Kaleba into Wa, okay, proceeding to Hamele, have not received any major facelift in the past 80 years. Indeed, last 2 months, President Mahama cut short for the construction of that road. And that road is going to link the Bono East region to the Savannah region, the Savannah region to the Upper West region, the Upper West region to the Upper East region. Okay. And you can imagine the kind of development, the kind of improvement in lifestyles that the construction of this road will bring to the people who live around that enclave. Not only that place, MFA, the road around Volta region, also receiving major facelift. So I think my brother should, at least for once, and his people should accept the fact that this government is putting up very splendid performance in all its facets. MFA, when was the last time your lights went off?
2 days ago.
2 days ago, your lights went off. For how many minutes? Or how many hours?
It stayed about 2 hours.
Okay, so, but that cannot be necessarily attributed to maybe doomsaw or power rationing or so on and so forth. Maybe some issue of a sort happened around your area and then probably your light had to go off for a few hours before it is being restored. So the point I'm trying to make is that the energy minister, our brother Dr. John Abdullah Jenapo, has been able to stabilize our energy sector. Our electricity no longer goes off. Our brother Eduji Tamakulu and Co. at MPA have been able to provide fuel for us at our pumps, such that when you take your car there, you don't have to even go and join a queue. You get the point?
Yeah. So
this is the kind of economy we want to live in. And that is what the NDC government under President John Dramani Mahama is providing for the good people of Ghana. MFA, I can't end this submission without saying kudos to our finance minister, the governor of the Bank of Ghana, and our brother Sami Jemfi at Gold Board. They have brought their heads together and they are putting up very marvelous performance. And they have been able to stabilize our currency. Of course, I must admit the fact that my brother concedes that in that arena, the NDC government is doing well. I think that is the route we all need to take, such that when government does the right thing, even though you may not belong to the political party in power, you ought to commend them for what they may have done. Okay. So I think in general, government deserves commendation and our support, so that in going forward, whatever that needs to be done for the good people of Ghana, that is you and I, to live more peacefully, more harmoniously, and to enjoy the better quality of life that we ought to have, is being gotten from the government in the next 3 years.
You have a few pushback.
Yes. First of all, I have sent the IMF reports that has to do with the lies that my brother seems to, put out there, that the IMF requested from government in terms of, extending the, the agreement, and I wish they could. I would be glad if they can project that for viewers to.
It has to be a verifiable document.
Oh, of course, it is. It is a verifiable document.
But that's what I'm saying. Until I verify their competence.
So I've given it to your producer, so they should please project it.
Just make the point.
Now, this is the document, and I read. It says that based on the strength of the policies outlined in this letter and the attached MEFP, we request completion of the 5th review, completion of the financing assurance review, and a disbursement of SDR 267.5 million. In view of the expiration of the ECF program in May 2026, an additional 3 months period will be required to enable the completion of the final review of the program. Moreover, we request a modification of the nominal fiscal objectives. This was a letter that the finance. Oh, please.
Hold him to his own words.
Please, please, allow me. Allow me to finish. Stop what you are doing. Stop what you are doing.
With his own words.
Stop what you are doing.
His own words.
This was a letter.
Granted, your document is authentic. Hold it.
This was a letter that the finance ministry and his team wrote to the IMF, and in the course of their report, they captured it. It is coming from Ghana. This thing has been put out over there. Your team could not even come to show a rebuttal. So don't sit on this public platform and peddle for you. IMF will come to you for extension for what? How does it affect IMF? How does it affect IMF? Your finance ministry, I am putting it out there. The Honorable Minister Atufo and his team,
but
I dare them to come and tell me that they did not request for an extension for 3 months.
No, but hang on. Let's not confuse matters here, so that it sounds like they're requesting for an extension for what? What's the extension for? What's the extension for?
Oh, I just read it. I've given it to you. I don't know why they.
It says that no. It's editorial. We don't just put things up, my dear Senor. It's with me here. You have given me a copy.
Yeah,
and I'm referencing it. So okay. I'm asking a question that it says that I just want to quote is we request a modification of the nominal fiscal objectives, primary balance and nominal GDP projection with the view of keeping the fiscal effort relative to GDP as envisaged under the program. I want to go to where it says an additional 3 months will be required to enable the completion of the final review of the program. This is different from an extension of help, asking the IMF for an extension of the program.
An additional. This is
no review of the program. An additional. This. My understanding.
Read the entire where it's been highlighted. That's why it would have been good for projection.
So I'm sure you have that just for clarity for viewers.
Well, okay.
No, so that they don't end up thinking that they say that the NDC government is requesting an extension from the IMF.
But I am also saying,
and I'm saying that right here it says a review of the program.
No, but I've highlighted the whole thing for you.
But I've quoted it here.
And I'm saying that in view of the expiration of the ECF program in May 2026.
Yes.
An additional 3-month period will be required.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Yes.
What does that mean?
Will be required for what? Finish it.
An additional 3 months will be required to enable the completion
of the
review.
Of the final review, yes.
Now, so if you are requiring, what does it mean? You are expecting, it's a request you are making. This is common communication skills. This is common communication skills.
You can't necessarily use
are requesting for an additional extension because you want to manage the physical discipline of the economy. That is what you pontificate out over there to the IMF.
Okay.
You wanted to.
But do you understand his argument?
You said you wanted to, work on your physical discipline, so they should give you an additional 3 months to be able to, work on this.
Basically, that's the import of it.
You don't understand the issue. You don't sit here and throw.
No, Senor, don't.
Take your time.
Don't do that.
It connotes to the 3 months being a period for the review of the program. Is that
But just for clarity, it's not the IMF
yes,
that requested
it doesn't necessarily.
So it's not IMF who requested.
No, I think that's
clear.
That's what Senyo wants you to be clear.
It is not IMF who requested. Make it clear.
It doesn't also mean. It doesn't also mean
when we make errors, we accept the mistake.
It doesn't also mean government is demanding an extension.
Please, you guys, I keep saying
you can't say government.
Your lies will not be there. You see, you keep on peddling lies, and that is why I said I've described you in one word. Your government is a megalomaniac government. That is what you parade yourself on lies.
If we don't go this route, what will happen?
Okay, I'll go to Dr. Minta for his final words.
I really did not want to delve into this area.
Yeah, for your final words, yeah.
But I think I have to come in.
Okay.
See, the NPP communicator came in and then he started to draw a nexus between the price of goods. I mean, he's talking about the consumer price index and also the utilities that keep rising. And I just wanted to be blunt. You see, I live in America for almost 17 years now. I mean, in the state of Massachusetts. Since I've been here, I've never seen the price of petrol, gasoline, went far beyond $3 per pump. I'm talking about the pump of gasoline. Now, what I realize is that there is an equilibrium that the price has reached. So whatever happens, it doesn't really go beyond. Now, what I notice with our Ghanaian counterparts is that we play the same gimmicks, massages with prices. We hide behind, subsidies in order to make our government look good. Then, in other departments that are critical to the economy, that we suffer. Even Nigeria, that produces more oil than Ghana, does not go this way. You see the whole thing. So if he is saying that their government came to power because they wanted to appease the people of Ghana and they subsidized petrol, etc., and then that is why life was so good for Ghanaians, he's lying. It is not true. It means that there's rather a sign of incompetency. This is a government that wants to go equilibrium. This is a government that wants to take full responsibility and also to put us on a path of recovery. So why would a government be going and be jimmying and hiding behind tariffs and then be deceiving Ghanaians? It doesn't make any sense. For me, that is why I sat here and told you that it takes time for all these things to kick in. When we get to equilibrium, I believe that all these other prices will come to a certain condition where Ghanaians will start to feel it in their pocket. So yes, if he's saying that in certain areas, Kenke is high because electricity tariffs are still high, rent is still high, well, to some extent, it may make sense to the lay Ghanaian. But if you want to take a bold and decisive decision in order to stabilize pricing, that is not the right way to go. You need to get to that equilibrium. And I think that this is what the government is doing.
Right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Dr. Manasseh Minta. Dr. Minta, you wanted to say something quickly?
Yeah, let me just quickly say shout out to a quick friend, a very good friend of mine at the EPA, Dr. Patrick Essien, and another very good friend of mine who is called Patron. They're watching me right here. I want to say may the good Lord be with them and bless them this year.
Okay.
I wish them a happy year.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Manasseh Minta. Senor, we don't have time. No, and we don't have time. I only have 30 seconds and it is for Sharif because he has to respond.
No, but he ridiculed what I said.
He did what?
Yes, he did. He cannot be in U.S. He cannot be in U.S.
Yes, so
I want to talk about prices. I cannot want to be in U.S. I want to talk about prices.
I read.
You are living a flamboyant life in U.S.
Just a few days ago.
Yeah.
President Mahama made a conclusive statement that Ghana will not be extending our IMF program.
Yes.
Right. And he indicated that we are going to finish complete the program on the scheduled date and there will be no need for the program to be extended. Now, I was making the point that at the breakfast meeting with the governor of the Bank of Ghana, the finance minister and co, the IMF brought out a suggestion for a possible extension of the program to August.
Of the program itself?
Yes, to August, which they declined. I get my point. So now,
so this is entirely different from this.
Yes, my brother cannot use the review. My brother cannot use the review.
It is clear you have reviewed your mind. You've reset your mind.
This is what I began. This is what I said.
Reset your mind.
My good friend.
One thing is clear.
Thank you.
That when you cannot make sense,
a good start of the holiday. But thank you so much for joining us for the news review. I know that you're looking forward to the conversation with lawyer Atachia. I do too. Please stay.